It is 32 minutes past the hour. Good afternoon once again on the Big Y. It's exactly time for the Y Sports Update. We do this from Monday to Friday at exactly 2:30, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon to tell you all that is trending in terms of sports in Ghana and across the globe. Nations FC saga is still on. What's going to happen to the game that was played at Enyinase on Sunday? Barca Holy Stars faced Nations FC. The game did end abruptly because Nations decided that they were not going to continue with the encounter. On the foreign front, there are a lot of transfer stories that I will delve into right here on the Big Y as well. Now, the Y Sports Update is proudly brought to you by Sefranco Media Institute. Yes, Sefranco Media Institute will always get us raring to go, because if you want to be the finest in terms of media training, it is Sefranco Media Institute. Come, let's train you. We offer courses like sports presentation and commentary, news writing, music and disc jockeying, newscasting as well, program hosting, marketing, events, and then promotions. Also, you are a YouTuber or you happen to be a TikTok content creator and you want to learn more from the craft and then try to cash out anytime that you are on these social media platforms, then all that you've got to do is to come to Sefranco Media Institute, because we will train you in terms of videography and photography as well. So come to Sefranco. We are located at Bantama High Street opposite the National Health Insurance Office. Yes, Bantama High Street opposite the National Health Insurance Office. That's where you can locate Sefranco Media Institute. Call us on 0244 705 112 0244 705 112, and then we will sort you out as quickly as possible. Now, we are doing sports, and we want you to have a feel of all that we are talking about. So get on Facebook right now at Y1025FM. I've got some nice pictures to show you in terms of the transfer, so you understand the players that I'm talking about and the teams that I'm talking about as well. Get on Facebook at Y1025FM, because I'm about to start the transfer stories and run you through all that is happening in terms of the big clubs, your opponent clubs as well. On Facebook at Y1025FM, hashtag YFM Kumasi. I am on and I'm ready to give you everything you need to know concerning the transfer stories in England and in Spain as well. So let's do this. Y1025FM, it's time for the transfers, and I'm going to zoom in straight from the foreign front so you know everything concerning sports right here on the Big Y.
YFM Y4.5.
All right, let's get on with the stories right here on Y1025FM as quickly as possible in terms of the transfer. And I'm starting my first stories from Barcelona, because there's a lot happening in the camp of Barcelona. Join us on Facebook at Y1025FM, and then let's talk about Barcelona stories first with Luis Diaz, who is a Liverpool player. Now, according to sources in Spain, the player has communicated to Barcelona that he's ready to join them, but it all depends on the money that they will be paying. In fact, Liverpool are also interested in extending the player's contract, but the stories related to Luis Diaz is that he has also told Liverpool that if a good offer arrives, they should let him leave. He doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. He doesn't want any other club. His only focus is on Barcelona. That is the story coming this afternoon from the camp of Barcelona as well as Liverpool. Like I said, join me on Facebook. Let's do this right here on the Big Y. Now, still with the Barcelona stories. What's more to talk about concerning the Blaugranes? Now there's a goalkeeper in Espanyol. His name is Joan Garcia. Juan Garcia, you can call him. He's a player for Espanyol. According to sources, once again, this time I'm quoting the source, Mundo Deportivo. They are based in Catalonia. Now, I've already told you, if you've been listening to the program, that in Barcelona, it is Mundo Deportivo and it's Diario Sport. These two portals, these two news portals are key to most of the transfer stories from Barcelona, as well as the clubs based in Catalonia. Now, they are reporting that the club has told Joan Garcia that he will be the starting goalkeeper for the present and for the future, even though they know that there are some goalkeepers in there. One of them is Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Don't forget that yesterday there was stories trending that ter Stegen might be leaving the club because they want to bring Joan Garcia. Now, the story also states that even if ter Stegen stays at the club, Juan Garcia will be the number one. That is also trending on social media. So Barcelona are so much interested in terms of the transfer stories, and they want to make sure that they get the best of players. Away from that, into other stories concerning Barcelona right here on the Big Y. Like I said, we are still focusing on the stories that are making waves in Europe. Now, there's a picture of Clement Lenglet, who plays for Atletico de Madrid. He's on loan from Barcelona. Now, Atletico Madrid will be competing in the Club World Cup. The story concerning the player is that Barcelona have given their approval for the player to play in the Club World Cup, even though he's supposed to finish the loan deal from 2024 to 2025. But because of the Club World Cup, Barca have agreed that he can play the Club World Cup as well. Now, away from that to ter Stegen, the club wants ter Stegen to leave. I've already told you that, because the choice is Juan Garcia and Wojciech Szczesny, the goalkeeper. That man, the post for Barca as they won La Liga, as well as the Copa del Rey, the Supercopa de España, and then competed in the UEFA Champions League. Now, whether ter Stegen will leave or whether he will stay, we will see how it pans out. Like I said, you know, Facebook, the pictures now go. Now, still on the Barcelona story, there's also a story concerning Robert Lewandowski and then Ferran Torres. Now, these are the two strikers for Barcelona in the recent season that just ended. Now, Barcelona want to keep the two players, not because that they think that they are the finest, but they are saving money for the 2025-26 season's end to move into the 2026-27 season, because they feel that Erling Haaland, Alexander Isak will all be available by that time. That is their feeling. They want to save money. They want to finish the Camp Nou and then focus on getting a striker. Don't forget that Erling Haaland has signed an 8-year deal with Manchester City. They don't care about that. They know that in the next 2 years, Erling Haaland will be tired. He will be bored with the project at Manchester City and want to play for another big club. And Barca will go in at that time. That is the 2025-26 season, the summer of the 2025-26 season, and then try to get in some players. Now, one of them is Erling Haaland, and if they don't get him, they will also be looking at that of Alexander Isak, who plays his football for Newcastle. Now, away from that to Real Madrid. Real Madrid are also in the news. Florentino Perez is the president of the club. Now, if you talk about Real Madrid and you ignore Perez, then I'm surprised. I don't know what you are doing. Now, Real Madrid are looking at signing another midfielder and a striker after the Club World Cup. FIFA Club World Cup. Real Madrid will be competing in that competition. According to stories emanating from Madrid, Madrid will be going in high for two key players, for the midfield and then for the striking position. So Florentino Perez picture is on our Facebook at Y1025FM #YFM Kumasi. Yeguso transfer stories na Yeguso. Now let's move away from that. There's a young chap who hails from Algeria. Real Madrid are in the news to sign that player. What is the name of that player? His name is Azzedine Ouzouani. Azzedine Ouzouani, that is his name. He played in the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Real Madrid are so interested in the player, and they'll be going for him. Now, it is not only one portal. Fabrizio Romano are reported, Mark are reported, AS are reported, Onda Ceros are reported. So that story is also gaining a lot of interest from the world concerning Real Madrid. Well, away from that into other stories. Now, there's a ruling that IFAB have brought out concerning penalties. If you remember in the UEFA Champions League this season, there was a penalty situation between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid during the penalty shootout. Julian Alvarez missed his penalty, and it was said that he touched the ball twice before the ball went into the net. The referee disallowed that goal. The rule at that point was that if you touch the ball twice before kicking it, it will be ruled disallowed. Now, I've responded to that, and they are saying that double touches during penalties, they've taken a decision on that. Now, listen to the ruling. If the player involuntarily touches the ball twice before any player touches it and scores, the penalty will be retaken. If you score, it will be retaken. If the ball does not enter the goal and an indirect free kick will be given, that is if any penalty shootout. But if it is penalty shootout, it will be recorded as missed. So if the ruling was there last season, Julian Alvarez would have taken the penalty once again. If he had missed, and if Courtois had saved that penalty, I don't know. So that is the ruling from IFAB as quickly as possible. Now, AC Milan are interested in the signing of Luka Modric. Sharp. Now, Luka Modric will be leaving Real Madrid at the end of the Club World Cup. That is if Real Madrid get to the final and they play in the final, whether they win or lose. After that game, Luka will be leaving Real Madrid to another club. Now, AC Milan are interested in the player. Now, for this same Club World Cup from Real Madrid, it is reported that Antonio Rudiger and then David Alaba will not be fit for the Club World Cup. Other players have been mentioned. Eduardo Camavinga has also been mentioned. Felon as well. So these are all players that Real Madrid will be missing in the Club World Cup. Now, Real Madrid are interested in the signing of Benfica's Alvaro Carreras. Now, on that same player, Benfica are not giving up. They are playing hardball with Real Madrid. They don't want to let the player leave. That is also the story coming from the camp of Real Madrid. Now, quickly, let's move into other stories concerning other clubs. And we are moving to England, where there's a lot happening in terms of the transfer. Now, Maignan plays his football for AC Milan. Yes, the goalkeeper, Maignan, he's in the news. Chelsea are interested in a player. Are you surprised that Chelsea want to sign Maignan? Yes, the black goalkeeper who plays his football for AC Milan. According to sources in England, Chelsea are interested in the goalkeeper who plays his football for AC Milan and also the French #1 goalkeeper. Also, Brentford are playing hardball with Manchester United because they know that the release clause of 50 million, they want to earn more than that. They are looking at 60 to 70 million pounds for that of Brian Mbeumo, who plays football for Brentford. Also, still at Brentford, Mark Flecken has decided to leave Brentford and is going to join Bayer Leverkusen. That's also another story. Nick Pope, who plays his football for Newcastle United, is being courted by Leeds United. They want to get him on board, so he plays a key part for the team, Leeds United. Now, Noni Madueke is also in the news. He plays his football for Chelsea. Now, Chelsea are saying that they want to cash out on the player. They are listening to offers for the player. If any offers pop up, they will definitely like to let the player leave. That is also the story coming from the camp of Chelsea. And then Noni Madueke, that fine left winger. God bless Munyina Somo Bezo Obetina Club. All the Chelsea fans, AJ Mensa Munyina see David, he should be leaving. Now, PSG's Kang Jin Lee is in the news. Now, Napoli want to sign him for 40 million euros. Yes, PSG will only be willing to sell for 40 million euros. Now, we don't know how much Napoli will be willing to accept, but that is the story coming from the camp of Napoli and then PSG. Away from that onto the local front, and then it's time to be bringing your transfers because no one else be bringing your transfers. You be real look at Baba. Manchester City want Tijani Reinders. Yes. Tijani Reinders, who plays his football for AC Milan. There's also the talk of Florian Wirtz for Liverpool still on. Chelsea are also interested in Jamie Bino Gittins. He plays for Dortmund. Now, in Saudi Arabia, there is that Al Hilal striker, one of my favorite strikers, Alexander Mitrovic. According to sources, EPL clubs are thinking of bringing him back into England. Are you not surprised? Mitrovic is there by England. Okay. Jadon Sancho is a player who plays currently for Chelsea. It was a loan deal with an obligation to sign. Now, if Chelsea did not sign the player, they were going to pay £5 million as a penalty. Where you see player and you won't sign it there, but you have 5 million. So Chelsea will pay £5 million to Manchester United for deciding not to sign Jadon Sancho from Manchester United. So these are all stories emanating in terms of the transfer market. And